Okay, it says I am live again. I'm just going to give it a few minutes. I'm going to see if, oh, I just got a security warning. I need to see something, no? Boop. You see? Oh, 1 second. So, okay, it's working this time. Ha! Yes. Okay, perfect. Bingo. Thank you, everybody, for being patient. We're just going to wait. I know there's a couple more people who have said they are coming. While we wait for people to come in, why don't you let me know in chat what planner system you are going to be using today, or if you have no idea, or let me know what some of your issues are, or like pain points, things that kind of stump you when it comes to planning. I know Daxter, who's in chat right now, they really like their planners and trying new things, but I don't know if they're still having struggles finding a system that works for them, or if they finally found something that works for them, or a combination of things. Trying to pull some stuff I'm going to need. So Dexter is using SketPal and a blank notebook, and they get overwhelmed with to-do lists and wondering when I have too much to do and finding time. I think that's a good thing that we can talk about today. Oh, before we talk about that, I have a really hilarious story to tell. So I had a couple things. Let's unpackage this Amazon package. My horrible kitchen shears. Just 1 second. So what? Okay, this is. Oh, I like that. This says thank you. What did I order again? What's in this bag? No, I do not have a problem with ordering. My coffee pot died on Tuesday, and my new coffee machine was literally just like delivered 45 minutes ago, and I just had my first cup of coffee for the first time in 5 days. And this ribbon does not want to loosen up. What kind of packaging is this where you won't let me get in it? I don't want to cut this bag. It's nice. And it says thank you. It's polite. It's Canadian, but it's not. Okay, I'm sorry, bag. I have to cut you. Well, that's tragic. Oh my God. So I'm going to, yeah, it's really a shame. I remember now what I did. I bought a whole bunch of just really, really tiny, I think this is 5 millimeter washies. I'm going to have to go through these, but I think there's 300 different rolls in here because I don't do anything if not being excessive. But yeah, so I'm going to have to deal with that later. That can go over there. But I plan to use these to kind of section off areas in my journals without having to use the big fat washi. And I got these off of Amazon, and for all hundreds of these, I think it was $20. So it's not bad. But here's the story. See this box? It's a big box. It's a huge box. You know how Amazon is? Want to see what's in this box? Okay, let's do this. We're opening up this box from Amazon. We're taking out the paper. A pack of Sharpies. They used this big monster box for a pack of Sharpies. I'm going to hope for the sake of Amazon that it's because there's currently a paper shortage, and they ran out. They ran out of bags, but Daxter was right, guessing in the chat that it was for 1 pen. It was for 2 pens, close enough. But that big honking bite, and yes, I did see what you did there with the right versus right. Anyways, when this arrived this morning, I'm like, no, they didn't. They did not. But yes, they did. Okay, so let's get to the planning. And let's talk about overwhelming with tasks and too much to do and not finding the time. The one thing I'm going to go back to, let's look at before I start entering stuff for this week. So let's go to last week. This is last week when I had Light Matters. And on in the Jibun Techo is what this is. On the left, I have a running to-do tasks, just a broad overview of what you want to get accomplished that week. And then I do bigger lists in my dailies. This is a bigger to-do list in my daily. Now the thing is, I keep it small. I limit it. I cross things off. Well, this week I moved to checking things off, or I put like arrows or hand stickers in this case. Let me just see if that focuses in there and put it back. And if I have to move things to the next week, then I move things to the next week. This week I was able to get more done. But when I look at this week, it's like one of the things is shoot a video, but shooting the video took all this time. I mean, I started at what time? At noon. Started at noon, and I finished editing and shooting it. Well, editing it 2,100 hours, so 9 p.m. Noon to 9. It's no wonder why that day got very little done. So I don't beat myself up to it. I do the same when I'm doing tasks in my daily. I actually block out like how much time did it take to do those things? And then I realize in weeks that it only looks like I have 5 things done. When I go back and look at how much time it actually took me to do those 5 things, and I realize, wow, I conquered the world. Another thing that I do, and I know, Dexter, that I still have to send you this thing, is 3 times a day. If you see the purple down here, at 10 o'clock in the morning, at 2 o'clock in the morning, and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 6 o'clock in the evening, I check in with my body and I see how many spoons I have. And if you're new to the spoon theory, that's basically how much energy that I have. And then at the very back of my journal, and I promise, Daxter, I will send this to you, I have tasks based on spoon level. So if I have a 1, then I pick 1 activity out of this list. And that is all I do for the day. And if I manage to do that one thing when I barely have enough energy to even get out of bed and get dressed, never mind showering and eating and brushing my teeth and all those other things, if I end up doing one of these things, then it's a day awesome. Well done. And for like a 1 spoon, it's like write 200 words. That's it, because writing takes up a lot of energy. Cook a side dish. Study photography. Develop ideas, study recipes, update Instagram, or edit my cookbook. Pick one of those things. I get it done. I'm done. Pick 2 things. Pick 1 activity. The activities get more and more labor intensive as you go on. But so if a score 2, pick 1. Score 3, pick 2. Score 4, pick 2. Score 5, pick 2. Score 6, pick 3. Score 7, pick 3. Score 8, pick 4. Score 9, pick 4. Score 10. If I ever make it to 10, pick 4. The most I've ever had in a day, I think, is like 4, or in a period. And I just keep doing that. And the goal at the end of the day is to have 1 spoon left at 6 p.m. And if I do not have 1 spoon left at 6 p.m., that means that I either did not assess my spoons correctly, and I need to pay attention to those signals again and be more mindful, or I did assess my body correctly And the problem is my list of things that I can do based on my spoons. That means I need to rejigger this list. And it took me a good 3 months of trial and error. Archer, leave that alone, please. It took me a good 3 months of trial and error before I was able to create a list that consistently works. There's still some days that are like, oof, that was bad. Like let's go back to last week before we actually start the planning. On the 1st of November, I did a shoot again and I edited, and I had a 2, I had a 1, and then at 6 p.m. I had a 0, and I made a note there that video editing wiped me. So that is like, okay, now I'm starting to learn what my limits are when it comes to video editing. On Tuesday, I got pretty much nothing done except for my blood work. And so I put down at the bottom of my day that I had a migraine, and I had 0s all day to let myself know when I look back at this that my day was empty, but the fact that I managed to get my butt out of the house and to the hospital to get my blood work done when I had a 0s and a migraine all day, good job me. So it's all about respecting and praising respecting your boundaries, respecting your body and your energy levels, and praising yourself and giving reminders to be gentle to yourself. So that's how I manage my to-do list. I never feel guilty if I have to move stuff to the next week. I never feel bad if I don't get a lot accomplished. And I spend time every day reflecting on if I didn't get as much accomplished as I did, making a note to myself that this is like you were having a really not so great day. And the fact that you managed to get anything done, bravo, good for you. Yes, doctor need to work on praising yourself, and they get stuff done instead of punishing themselves for not getting something done. Yes, it took me a long time. Like I'm now in December, it will be 7 years of trauma therapy, and it was at the beginning of last year that I adopted this system. So 5 years before I was of really, really hard work before I was able to get to a point where I did not feel bad and didn't let the messaging growing up of you're not worthy unless you're accomplishing 1 million tasks a day and being the next Prime Minister of Canada, because that when I was in grade 4, that's what everyone told me I was going to be. No pressure whatsoever. And so, and anything I did that wasn't accomplishing that goal that other people gave to me, I was a failure. And so it took a long time to be able to undo that. Another thing that I do that is very mindful is I have a hard stop for my work days, and I schedule in time that is relaxation time, just to be mindful again that, okay, you're done for the day. Other people get to go home. They get to do whatever. This is your time to relax. Here are some things to do. So I don't really have to think about what I want to do with my free time. A lot of people will say, don't schedule your free time. But I do, only because if I don't, then I get option paralysis, and then I end up twiddling my thumbs for the whole evening, figuring out what it is I want to do. Whereas if I pre-plan what I want to do with my downtime, then I actually do something relaxing and something that replenishes my spoons for the next day. And as my week goes, I try not to plan my week ahead. I'm gonna work on this today while you work on your planning ahead, and we're gonna talk it through too much. But there are things that came up this week that if I didn't write it down in my to-do list as they came up, then I would have forgotten about it, because it happens a lot. Last year I moved between a mix of my traveler's notebooks and Microsoft Planner, and stuff was getting missed because Microsoft Planner and Microsoft To Do and all that stuff that's tied into my Outlook and my Microsoft Business account is one more app to open. It's one more thing to remember. Where I live in my physical planners, I'm always in them. I'm always checking them. I'm always making notes of things that, like, in reminders. And because I was using electronic ways of doing to-dos last year, a lot of stuff got missed. I would think of something, I need to do that next week. And then next week would come and it'd be like, what was I supposed to do? I don't remember. It never used to happen But as I've gotten busier, like right now, I am producing an art exhibit. I am writing a cookbook. Another thing that I do is, as good things that happened, I also I have to add that let me do that now. And so I have coffee pots. Coffee pot arrived. Hallelujah. And let's see. I have some coffee flakes somewhere. Here we go. So Daxter says they used Happy Planner for a couple of years and got rid of it because they got overwhelmed by the options they sold. Now I went digital and use a composition book for brain dumps. Yeah, if that works for you, that's great. Happy Planner, I don't like okay, so my very first planner a million years ago, because I'm old, I'm older than dirt. Not that old. I'm going to be 46 I have to put in this. I was a 3 when I woke up this morning. That's too big. My very first planner, because I've always been a planner and I've always liked to schedule my days and my time. But the very first planner I got as an adult was Franklin Daytimer, Franklin Dayquest, something like that. And it had everything. It had the months, the weeks, and 2 months, weeks like this. But each day spread was 2 days, 2 pages per day. And that's what I need for how busy I am sometimes. But they make them, the only reason why I stopped using them is because they're rings, and I flip through, like this journal I've only been using for 2 weeks, and it's already like pretty bent up and everything because I'm in it a lot. I'm in it. It's well loved. It's well used. So, and Franklin, with the Franklin ones with the 3 rings, or the 6 rings binder, A5, pages kept getting ripped out, and then I would have to use those circle hole fixer-upper thingies. There's a technical term for them that I can't remember. And then I learned the Midori system, which one day I will actually link to that. If you Google Midori Manage Anxiety, my article should be the first thing that comes up from Geek Dad. And I've been using a bunch of Midoris for the past 5 or 6 years, Daxter. Yeah, whole reinforcers, thank you. Daxter would know because Daxter started on their planner journey shortly thereafter, and seeing how I use my planner. So that happened, but then last year I tried, just because I have so many things happening right now and 2 big projects that I'm managing. I switched, but this year I'm trying to streamline things again because last year didn't work and my Midoris aren't working anymore. So I'm doing the Jibun Techo, and I have something else, but Daxter said something. They said, oh yeah, another reason to get rid of the Happy Planners, and a lot of the planners that are out there, they're all very feminine and they don't really have that many gender neutral options. And yeah, that's the same issue. One of the reasons why I started this channel was because I didn't see myself reflected in the planner space. I know a lot of other people who don't see themselves reflected in the planner space. I mean, and so I wanted to fix that. I wanted a planner space that is more gender neutral, but also enjoys doing things like stickers and doing things that are decorative. Because I don't consider those things to be masculine or feminine. People like to decorate things. People like aesthetically pleasing things, no matter what their gender identity is. I wanted something that was flexible, a way that we could learn from each other. So a way that respected disability, a way that respected different types of neurodivergence. instead of just being, this is the way to do it. So, I mean, flexibility is the key when it comes to planning. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to walk you through, I know I still have one day, of how I set up my week. So for next week, I've already decided that I am prioritizing. I have an exhibit that it's happening in January at the very beginning of my journal. Somewhere at the very beginning, I have like all the grays. These are weeks that I don't book client. These are all times that I do not book client shoots, and it's all admin stuff or personal projects. And then this yellowy orange right here, that is when my next exhibit is live. And it's called Nourish Celebration, and it's celebrating local farmers, growers, beverage producers, restaurants, all the people who kept us fed and watered during impossible circumstances during COVID-19. So next week I have on one of these pages right here on my shoots, I have a punch list of things that I need to shoot right away, that I have all the stuff to shoot that's going into the exhibit. So I already know, and I do this on a lot of weeks. Like if I want to whatever I'm prioritizing, then I will put that at the very top, so that when I go into that week, I know that that's what I'm doing, and this is where my mindset is going to go right now. And I have everything color coded. So on shoot days, 098 is my color. It's this green, I think. Yep, 098. So I know I'm going to open up my, because I still use a mix of digital, right? Like when appointments come in, then I put them in my Outlook calendar, and some things will go into Planner, but they all have to get dumped in here at some point, because that's how I really remember things. Because I'm tracking this all the time. When I'm shooting, I don't have my phone on me. So there will be like 5 or 6 hours that I cannot check my phone because it's away when I'm shooting. I saw your tweet, Daxter. You're not cheating. Whatever works for you, so that you can get stuff done, and it doesn't and it works with your brain. I'm all for whatever system works for you. So I need to go to 3-day view right now on my phone. So, I mean, tomorrow is a shoot day, and it's an admin day. And admin days I have, so I color code things. So when I'm looking at it at a glance, I'm still trying to remember my new color legend. But it's just something that I like to do. You don't have to, but it's just a way for me at a glance to be able to tell how much time I'm spending on something, what my priorities are for. So is this 969? Yes, it is. And it's an admin day. I'm going to color that in. Tuesday is a shoot day. Wednesday is a shoot day. A really cool thing that's happening next week that I noted yesterday, and I think I meant to talk about it, but I didn't because I got sidetracked with my coffee pot, is a publisher is going to be sitting down. So when your book goes to being sold with a publisher, it goes to an acquiring editor, and then the acquiring editor decides whether or not, I might take this to an acquisitions meeting. And then they sit down at a table, all the people in the publishing company who make these decisions, purchasing decisions. They talk about the merits of your book, your proposal, all that other stuff, and decide whether or not they're going to make you an offer. And so my book next week, my Crip Up the Kitchen cookbook, is going to the acquisitions meeting next week. And when I got the email last night about it, the words used is that the acting publisher is quite keen to be discussing it. So that means they've already been kind of talking about it unofficially around the office space. And in Canadian parlance, quite keen, we're the land of keeners. Quite keen is very, very high praise indeed. And so even if they decide to pass for whatever reason, the fact that a acting public to discuss my book, that's a huge thing. So I wrote that down. And that's happening this week. So I have to try and get all the stuff accomplished while not worrying about my book and how that's going to go. They didn't tell me, thanks, Dexter. They didn't tell me what day the meeting is happening. They just said next week we are discussing it and we're quite keen to discuss it. So things that I want to do, like I have breakfast every day at the same time. For the first 2 hours in the morning, I do continuing ed and I prep. And then I have breakfast afterwards. That's just my stomach doesn't wake up first thing, so I work for a couple hours before I eat. And because it's the same task every day, these first 3 hours of my morning, I'm thinking of maybe like writing it across instead of doing it every day, like making that part more stylish. But the problem is there are some mornings that my breakfast has to be moved around because I have a meeting like right at 11 o'clock. And so from 10 to 11 is my prep time for that meeting. So my meetings go 1 hour prep, an hour for the meeting, and then I have an hour afterwards to deflate and catch my breath and do my bearings and just relax and not think about anything. It helps my autism from no longer being overwhelmed. So I think what I want to do this week, okay, hold on. The shoots, I'm going to, in the first few spaces up until 8 a.m., I'm going to write. Monday, I want to do shoot these very, very pretty. They're farm fresh eggs, but the eggs are all different colors. There's like blue and green and light brown and everything else. And then on Tuesday, I want to shoot root beer. And the reason why I'm shooting this root beer is basically because of the packaging. It's a locally produced thing, but the packaging is like futuristic, but like, you know, the designs from the 60s and 50s, kind of like a some squash soup that I have to shoot. So that is the things I want to shoot on those days. And then, so that's just a note to myself so I don't forget. And then, so I have from 8 to 10. I mean, this is the same all the way to Friday. 8 to 10. Let me see how this is going to look. Continuing ed and prep. And then if I put washi here and here and here and here, I mean, that might look okay. Let's try that. Because I still have, I mean, I have until this calendar, it's the 2022, but it starts November. So it gives me a few weeks to play with layouts and figure out what it is that I like and what it is that I don't like. But let's try that. So continuing ed and prep That is a blue. So instead of boxing it blue, blue signifies like work blocks that are not like appointments with clients or whatever. So let's do this like this. Let's just try it like this week. Continuing. Add. And prep. Oh, I know what I might do. Take the brush part and just do a color block right now. I do have to do some prep on Saturday for the live shoot with me. Let's just do that because it balances it. And then I need to find some, I mean, I really like this washi. Let's see if my hand will focus. Come on. Come down here. No? Is that focusing or is it still focusing on the back? Dexter? Hello? Oh, there we go. Nope. It's not going to focus. Not focusing. That's what I thought. Okay. I mean, I really like this washi, but it's too big. I mean, here's the problem with the Jibun Techo. I love it, but the problem is that finding washi that fits within the grids is really difficult. And this is too big. Could always cut it. I mean, this one would work cut. Okay, let's do that. Cut this in half. That will look nice. Another thing about my planning method is that I find that when I set aside this time, a good couple hour block, hour or two block every few weeks to plan and really think about my upcoming week, I go into it relaxed and less stressful and just really mindful of everything that I want to accomplish, things that if I have to move them, I can. It's not a big deal. Let's be like this. You know what? I can leave this over here because I normally put, so Sundays is always blocked off for personal time. And if I put another washi over that to layer it, that is fine. So I think I just want to do just a little line like this and then maybe outline this. I think that works. Just to give it a little bit of separation from the next thing. Does it stress me out when I go through all that planning and then something comes up and you have to rearrange it? No. Because things that come up, so how it works with my booking calendar on my website is that people, the soonest someone can book something to see me is a week in advance. So I always know for the next week what my days are free, what other things are not free. So I can easily, it never used to be that way. I used to only need or only require 3 days notice if somebody wanted to meet with me. And I found that I wasn't getting anything done because there was just too much interruption and I could never plan things efficiently to be able to get things done. So now I require 1 week's notice for meetings. And if I don't have 1 week's notice, then it's not going to happen. And it allows me to be more efficient. Other things that, and there's also like I leave chunks of time in my schedule and will fill things in as they go. Like yesterday, I only had until up until here pre-scheduled, and that gave me the whole after. I still have to backfill some stuff that I did yesterday that hasn't gotten in here yet, but it allows me time. It allows room. I keep room for things that might come up last minute that my attention needs to come to, and things that are really, really wobbly, like this is like, I want to shoot the eggs, I want to shoot root beer, and I want to shoot the pumpkin soup next week. But if I wake up on Monday and my energy is like a 1, I cannot shoot that day. I literally do not have the spoons. And so because I'm not penciling in time to shoot yet, there's like the wishes and maybes, then it's no big deal. Maybe I can get both done on the Tuesday and I'll have like 4 spoons. And because I pre-sketch everything before a shoot, I already know what's going into it. An example is I just did a live shoot at Live Matters, or at Light Matters. I pre Archer, that's enough. It's just me. Yep, you can go to sleep now. Good boy. I pre-sketch my shot. I make my food and prop list beforehand. I write down all the equipment that I need. So when it comes the day of, everything is ready to go. I don't have to think about it. And so if I have to put it off, like it's all the pre-planning is done. And so if I have to move it to another day, it's no big deal. Things that also have a high likelihood of moving around, like Tuesday, or that not like this day that I had the blood work. I penciled in the blood work and for the Monday, and it didn't work, so I erased it, and then I penciled it again on Tuesday, and then once it actually happened, then I inked it in. So there are some things that I put for sure because I have no choice but to make them hard and fast, and they have to get done that day, like client shoots and client meetings and whatever. And then other things I pencil in, and that's where it's like based on if I am only have a 1, and then I'm only doing this one thing. But I do have, like, if I could do it all, I do make notes for this is what I would like to accomplish if I can. And though doing my spoon system also, it results in me being able to have the energy that I have. So for the days that I do have no choice but to meet with clients or whatever, it gives me room to save energy up, to not overwork myself, so that when it comes to times where I have no choice about what I do, then I can manage it easier, and it gives me room to crash the day afterwards, because I always have a day scheduled after a client shoot to relax and replenish myself and take it really, really light. An example of that is so Light Matters was a video conference, or a photography conference that I was shooting at. I normally don't work on Sundays. It was a really, really crammed up weekend at this conference. So the following Monday, it looks like I did a lot, but before I even went into that, I put a note at the bottom saying, take it easy. You did a lot over the weekend. And if we were to look at my Monday, it was basically, I watched some videos for continuing ed. I had breakfast. I set up my planner a bit. I wrote more planner setup. I did a giveaway. I exercised, and then I watched a bunch of things. So, it looks like a busy day, but when I look back on it and I compare it with my note that says take it easy, I can see, I actually did take it easy while still doing things that are productive, right? Like, it's one of those things where, yes, I like setting up my journal. This keeps me organized and on track. And everything that I did was in the theme of taking it easy. I didn't have any like strenuous work that day, even though writing is strenuous. So that's how I cope with that. Do you have any questions about that, Dexter? Does that make sense? I'm gonna It used to stress me out. I used to feel really guilty about having to reschedule things. But now that I'm like closer to 50 than I am to 40, I don't care anymore. I mean, this is my life. It's my time. It's finite. I'm going to do what makes me feel good. And if it doesn't work with my life and how I'm feeling, then it doesn't happen. Breakfast is a red color. So this is what I want to try for this one. See these washies? One of the reasons why I love these washies is because they actually fit in the line, like in the grids. So let's see where I want to put the breakfast. Break. Fast. Yeah, that works. So yeah, that's my next day. Make sure I grab the right color because I have two colors that are very similar. One for social media and one but I think this is the food one that I grabbed. Food 757. Yes. Oh, wrong side. Break. Fast. Now this, I might regret because normally I don't write in my breakfast and I don't add stickers to it until it has actually happened. But next week I have already scheduled all the way through, so this should be safe. And then I'm going to add some washi on top of it. Or at least I'm going to attempt to add this washi. That's a complementary color. I mean, where's the edge? I don't know. Do you use anything to decorate your journals, Dexter? Or are you just write it down and leave it type of person? Seriously. Why can't I find this? Dexter did stickers for a bit, but they get anxious doing too much because they're worried it won't look good. Oh, I was discussing that with somebody the other day on Instagram. They were remarking about how my journal is imperfectly perfect. And I understand where that pressure is coming from, because if you look at other journaling channels, I mean, they take so much time to make it look like absolutely perfect. And that whole Instagram worthiness of photography, or of stuff, but photography, they do it for journaling. And that's another reason why I am starting my I started this channel and these live sessions was to it still can be looking good but messy. You can remove things. You can do a mix of, like, I do functional and decorative. So it's mostly functional, but I do add decorative pieces to it just because I like to do it, and I like to reward myself with stickers when I get things done. And I cannot find the end of this washi tape. My life depended on it. Dexter also felt they used a lot of time to find the right stickers and not enough time doing my stuff on the list. Yes, I used to be the same way, but now what I do is, so with a sticky subscription, so I have a sticky subscription still, and what I like about it is that it comes in these containers, And at the beginning of every month, I just pull stickers that I'm going to, I've already pulled my December holiday wintry stickers. But I pull what I'm going to use, and I use those. This is what I'm going to use until there's nothing in here I can use anymore before I go into my stash and pull more. So there's no more. I've taken that option paralysis away, and this is, I mean, I have like admin things. This, well, I'm going to add cameras here shortly to the shoot days. But I have these pieces of paper that I rip and paste on here, and then write admin day on top, like right here. I have cameras for shoot days. I have typewriters for running days. I have numbers. So I just have a bunch of different video stuff, more admin stuff for dog food making days. Oh, I have to add that still. So I have things, that types of themes I regularly use. And I don't give myself a choice anymore. I've pre-pulled that. I have to add dog food making days. Where's my months? Next week, dog food making days are Monday. Oh. So how am I going to do this? Well, I guess I'm going to really, Jules. That is good thing. The thing that I'm shooting on Monday doesn't involve cooking, because I would have hooped myself by not checking that first like I normally would. Dog food making days 947. That's not it. Okay, this is gonna be a bunch of brown on brown on brown. Let's do this. So I also know it's dog food making day. Wow. That bleeding through. Wow. It's one of the things that I like about Japanese stationery. I mean, this paper is really, really thin. It sounds like rice paper or tracing paper, but it doesn't bleed. There's barely any ghosting. And I just put 3 separate brush pens on here, and it's fine. I mean, you can't see it withstands that. Where if I were to use paper that is found in most North American produced journals, the paper would be ruined. No matter how thick it is, it would be bleeding through and just absolutely horrible. Dog food making day. The next dog food making day is on Thursday. So on Thursday, hello, Levwani. It's okay that you didn't come on time. You're not feeling well. I'm glad you prioritized how you're feeling over being here on time. We're going to rewatch this later. Loving the sub. Awesome. Thank you very much, Levwani. I'm so happy to see you. Sucks that you're not feeling 100%, but when are we ever? So but I'm glad you made it and that you found some moments to be here. So dog food making days, I like to put stickers of dogs in the header, because Monday is an admin shoot, and dog food making day, I'm going to have to use a small dog image and a small cat. What small dog can I use? Or a small camera? Let's do... Are those hamsters? Those are hamsters. Those aren't dogs. Let's do this puppy right here. So dog food making day. That little puppy. And then we need a little camera. because if everything works out well, I'm going to be shooting that day. Let's do this white one. Camera. So what are you planning with today, Livwani? Do you have anything, or are you just watching and learning still at this point? Because I know that you're finding planning difficult. And then do I have something small here? Nope, that's too big. Unless I'm ripping and ripping. I'm going to rip this again. Little pieces of paper. Is that going to fit? Oh, maybe just. Yeah. Admin. So I added admin. Put that here. That's a lot for that day. I'm going to look at this day one day when I look back on my journal and have a little bit of a massive coronary, I think. I still cannot find the end of this washi. This washi is a perfect color, but I feel like I'm about to give up. And this washi started to come undone. I might have to do this later. I don't know, but I really want to put the washi here. I'm going to try it one more time. And if that doesn't work, I will move on because we're already an hour into this. And I still have a lot more to do. I'm going to move on and maybe I'll washi this later. So what else do I have going on this week? So on personal stuff is this color right here at noon on Wednesday. I have therapy. And then I have a conundrum. I can either watch a PPOC live learning thing about long exposure photography, or I can do every Wednesday there is a virtual write-in. And I'm not quite sure which one I want to do. I mean, I don't do landscape photography where it would matter that I need to do that stuff. If I go back to my calendar that shows things that are reoccurring, that starts up. I think I'm going to do my write-in still. I'm behind on my writing, so I have to catch up. October was a really bad month. October, I was sick. What else happened? I don't know. It was not a good month, so I didn't get much writing done. Right in. What else do I have that I know for sure is happening next week? Oh, Thursday, Star Trek Discovery season 4 premieres. And so that means we're going to have 2 new Star Trek series, 2 new shows on the same night on Thursday. I'm really, really looking forward to that. So at 4 p.m., and I think I use gray for that. Biz meetings, yes. So 4 p.m., which is 1600 on Thursday, I have a DIAC meeting. And that lasts until 1800. And I don't know if I'm going to decorate that now or later, but I'm just filling things in. On Thursday, another thing that I have to do is I am meeting with the Canadian Department or Ministry, the aide to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, because they are consulting me on the new conversion therapy bill that there's going to be proposed, and I might be testifying. And so anyways, at 1 o'clock on Thursday until 1:30, I am meeting with the Attorney General's office, which is a little bit mind-blowing. So AG. And then I need to, till here and here, this 1 hour, I need to deflate. Because as a conversion therapy survivor, I'm going to absolutely need that hour where I do absolutely nothing. And I may even just deflate all the way until my next appointment at 4. It all depends on how I'm feeling, to which degree my trauma gets triggered. So it's always important after you have meetings to book that time to recenter yourself, to breathe. What else do I have next week? I have an appointment on Friday with my endocrinologist. And that is at 11:15. 11:15. So 11:15. And that's a personal appointment. Dr. V. What else do I have next week that's already booked that I have no choice but to do? Oh, I have another meeting on Friday. Oh my goodness. And that is at 4, and that is the findings of a study that I participated in. Has to do with the effects of conversion therapy and change efforts. So GEAS, it's sexual orientation and gender identity change efforts. And it's everything from pressure from society to either be straight or to be cisgender, but as well as practices both religious and medical to make people straight and cisgender. And so I'm helping to, so that starts, so that is at 1600. So I have to put SOGIS. I wish these pens were finer. SOGIS results. And then what else do I have for sure? I've got the live plan with me. So let's put that in my social media, and that is at 1300. So live plan with me. And then other things that I know are going to happen next week. So 1800, that is time off. This is the right color. Yes. I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the purple. This time from 2200 till midnight. That is when my partner and I watch our shared shows together. And I write down in advance, because we don't have cable anymore, so I write down in advance what those shows are, because some of the streaming platforms in Canada, the network ones, unless you have a cable subscription, you can only stream them for a week after they air. And so there are some shows that we have to catch at a specific time or by a specific date if we want to watch them and not get lost. The season of Magnum PI is great. The new one. I don't know how they managed to do it, but they managed to keep that kooky vibe from the 80s original without making it horrible like the rebooted MacGyver. The new Fantasy Island is great as well. We're loving that. And I had forgotten from when I was a child how nightmare-inducing some of the results of the fantasies were, and I had to look it up on Wikipedia, and I'm laughing as I'm reading. I'm like, I really watched that when I was like 7 years old, 6 years old, and didn't get scared out of my wits. So, and then I have to mark the new ones so far haven't been anything really horrible, and this is for my check-ins, my body check-ins, which time is it? 1400 I have to do right now. So I am currently still at a 3, surprisingly. And I think it's because that coffee pot that arrived right beforehand is making me feel good today after not having coffee all week because it died. So I'm going to mark these in. I'm just going to put these in just as a reminder that these are things I have to do. Oh my goodness. Do I? No, I don't. I was going to see if I had any Star Trek stickers to put on Thursday for the fact that we have 2 Star Treks that day. But I'm going to do something else. I'm just going to do it nice and big. Trek. Oh, that's not a K. Times 2. Is there anything else I know for sure that is happening? Okay, so I have to respond to, so that's going to probably happen. I have to respond to, I'm getting before the meeting on Friday about the findings of the study. We're going to be getting a report that has like the top findings. And so I have to read it and respond before the Thursday. So that's a thing I have to do next week. In my back here, it's like scratch paper. I have a running to-do of things that I still have to put from my other journals into this one. So if I have time, if I'm finding like half an hour or so where I'm like twiddling my thumbs and not relaxing to replenish my spoons before I go on to my next task for the day, then it says to turn to page 3 to find other things to do when I'm able to. There's no hard deadline. It's just get all this stuff transferred from my traveler's notebooks into here at some point. And this was a problem that happened as well last year when I was doing a mix of paper and digital. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 recipes that are written down somewhere in some form that are lost to piles of organized clutter that I have to hunt down, and I need to put them in this page right here is to stick. I stick recipe notes as I'm developing them here, and then once they are done, they go on, I think it was the 10th. Yeah, they stick in my daily as this is the day I completed it. And now my next step is I have to shoot it, which I'm hoping to shoot on Wednesday. And then this will go, I have to decide if I want this recipe in my upcoming cookbook. I'm trying to do some more air fryer recipes. This is an Instapot and air fryer recipe The thing with air fryer recipes, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here, is there's not really anything you need to know about doing something either from stovetop frying it or in the oven, and then putting it in your air fryer, except for doing math to convert how much time you have to cook it for. There's like some cake recipes that are cake is difficult to do. It tends to get like unevenly cooked in an air fryer when it's not supposed to. There's some hacks. I have a couple cake recipes that I've developed myself, like the Turtles chocolates. I have a Turtles cake, and I have an after 8 dinner mint cake, and I have some other really nice cakes that I've developed recipes for that I'm trying to nab for the air fryer, but I'm having a really difficult time finding other things that actually truly need conversion that are friendly for people with a variety of disabilities. And that's what the whole cookbook is things that are easy for people who are disabled to make. They are home cooked foods from a variety of different cultures. There's no whitewashing of the foods. And people will be able to know by looking at every single recipe if they have enough spoons to make the recipe that day. So I'm struggling with that with air fryer, because every time I cook something in the air fryer, as much as I love it, like my samosas are it's going in there for sure. But everything else is like, oh my God, that drained me, because unlike the Instapot where you just set it and forget it, the air fryer, you actually have to watch it like you would if you were baking something. And you have to check it, and you have to like rotate things. And it's actually, it's great if you live in a small, tiny flat or an apartment that doesn't have room for a stove or an oven. It's great that way, but as in other ways, I'm just really torn. So this is both an air fryer and Instapot recipe. You need both. And I have to make a decision whether or not, Daxter had me at air fryer. Yeah, I have to air fryer cake. Yeah. And I have to set, this is one of the problems that happened when I started to do a mix of digital and, my traveler's notebooks last year, is I have all these recipes that I've the cakes, and I have a few other pastries that I developed last year. But they are in various states of development in various different areas, and I have lost track of the ones that I've completed and the ones that I haven't. And I just need to spend some time over the next few weeks, especially if I get an offer of publication next week. I need to spend some time gathering all that stuff together and doing a mad rush to finish getting these last 10, 15 recipes like perfect and good enough to be in my cookbook and ready to shoot. I'm going to talk about this later, maybe in a whole separate video. But I might need another planner just to make sure that I can finish developing my cookbook and organize everything back into a way that works for my brain, because digital if it's digital, I can dismiss a reminder and it's like enter it in there and forget it, because it's just another thing to open. And as I said, I live in my paper journals, so it's easier for me. So that's the thing I have to do next week. Oh, admin day. And I have to do this before Thursday. Okay, so Monday is my admin day. The thing I have to shoot is pretty easy. So on Monday, this afternoon, I have more tasks I have to do this afternoon. I have to type up some minutes for a board meeting. So on Monday, a thing I have to do for sure, and this is where my daily comes in. And next year, it is the Jibun Techo daily. I put appointments on this side, to-dos on this side, decorate any empty space. Another thing I have to do on Monday, this is important, so I'm going to put it in red, is update survey. And Monday is the only day I'm going to be able to do that, because Monday is my admin day. follow up with Lockwood Farms. Lockwood Farms is Admin Day is a holiday in the US, so that's true. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, I have every Friday and every Monday. I have, for the most part, I mean, this Friday was supposed to be an admin day, but it got booked up with a doctor's appointment and that other meeting. So sometimes I have to sacrifice. I mean, I still have time for admin in between that stuff, but it's going to be a very emotionally taxing day on Friday. So I don't want to book an admin day because I'm probably going to be exhausted after my endocrinologist appointment. And then I'm going to have to spend all this time just recouping before I go in and talk about the effects of conversion therapy. So Friday, I'm going to make a note of that right now. So I remember is to, I just dropped a pen for Friday. I'm going to make a note to myself to be extra kind to myself. Be extra kind to yourself. I know that's messy. I don't care. It's just for me. So that is, yeah, I'm going to have that note. Now that I've talked about it, I'm going to write it down, and that way I know that Friday's a day that I need to be mindful. So Lockwood Farms is a farm that is going to be participating in my Nourish exhibit in January, and they've asked me to give them a call. So Monday, how many hours do I have? I could do like 2 hours of, no, I could do a couple hours of admin work. So do I have time for a phone call in the morning between doing the emails and updating the survey? I may have time for a phone call. So phone Lockwood. Tomorrow evening after personal time. So this is the evening on Sunday. Sketch. Egg shot. I'm going to find time to do that tomorrow. That's it. Everything else isn't going here because it's personal. I mean, I might put some other stuff, but what else do I have to do next week? I have to email the minutes and tasks. That's there. I have to downgrade QuickBooks. I'm not going to put that in for Monday. I might find time on Friday to do that. And if I don't downgrade my QuickBooks subscription because I paid for features that I'm actually not using right now, so that's like an extra $50 a month that I don't need to be spending. It's not a huge priority, so if I have to put that off for another week, it's no big deal. So that's Monday. Tuesday shooting. Wednesday. So Tuesday. Let's just do Tuesday. Normally, unless I know I have something to do for sure, I don't fill out my dailies until the morning of. During this 2 hours where it's my continuing ed and prep time in the morning, that's when I fill out my daily to-dos, unless I know there's something for sure I have to get accomplished that day. So for sure, I do have to, and like I'm prioritizing. So everything else for next week, I am leaving blank until the morning of, when I have a time to assess how I'm feeling, and then I will figure out what tasks I am going to do that day. So this is I'm going to mark this day off as a personal day. Just to remind myself that I just as an extra reinforcement that Friday is for me. And then let's see what. No, it's not in there. I took it out already. I wish you all could see how I was so organized at the beginning of this session. And now, I mean, I have like right up here, there are like 300 pieces of washi that have just exploded everywhere. And I don't know if you can see them in the frame down here. All my markers were nice and neat in my organizer. And now I have like markers here. I have markers down here. I have washi strewn all over the place. And this is what happens when I plan. I start off with everything neat and organized. And I think this is really common among creatives. Liv Wani and I discuss this a lot, and we're both really notorious for just grabbing whatever is near us and writing something down and having like a whole bunch of different like scratch pads and everything around us, and then having to figure some way to make it all cohesive so that we're not doing that as frequently. But yeah, when I organize, and it's a horrible chaotic thing right now on my surface here, but cleaning up will be a snap because I have bins for everything. So it's basically have your bins, vomit all over the place, and then quickly just throw everything back in bins when you're done and put them away. And it just helps me to I hate chores, and tidying up is a chore, and it's just a quick, easy way to tidy up and organize without letting because I have OCD, take over. So it's just quick, throw it in, put the bins in a closet. They're like plastic shoe boxes. I have one beside me. You don't have Canadian Tire in the UK and the United States, but you can get these anywhere. And they have a lid that go on them, but they are shoe boxes. I think they're like $1.39 or something a piece. And I have a whole entire cupboard filled with these that have my journaling supplies in them. And I have a rule that all of my supplies need to fit, and they're all labeled, and so I know what is in them. And what's in my closet, this is all I'm allowed to have for journaling supplies, because I love collecting things because they just make me feel good. And if a bin is full, and I want to get something new that belongs in that bin, I either need to sell it, give it away to somebody, or not toss it. Sell it or give it away to somebody before I can get that other thing. So something has to go before something new can come in there if the bin is full. So that's just, a quick way that I organize and do things. And I don't know how many bins I have, but it's a generous amount. I'm not punishing myself or anything by doing it that way. So now looks like an Instagram picture, actually. What looks like an Instagram picture, Dexter? My mess? Oh, yeah. It could be. I mean, I might take a snapshot of it later, or a screenshot from here, and this can be my the screen right now. This can be my whatchamacallit, the thumbnail after when this is done. So Sunday the 21st. I don't use these washi. So this washi, and these are like book spines. These are moon phases. And then there was a pack that I accidentally read this too much, of like tickets. And these, again, it came in a pack of four on Amazon. And I think it was like $12. And it has more washi in it than like the big ones for decorative than I'll probably use in, it's going to take me a long time to get through all of these. And it was really good. So for Sunday, because I want to have it layered, and it's a personal day, but I want to be able to see, is that going to complement each other? What about, oh, I like this green. I think I'm going to use this for my Sunday just to mark off that time. Goes a little bit over into the other day, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't let perfection get in the way of progress. That's a thing that I have to remind myself of often, because if I don't, again, because of messaging that I got growing up, if I don't constantly remind myself to not let perfection get in the way of progress. And I think people encounter that a lot. I mean, Dexter, you brought it up earlier with you're afraid to use stickers and put things in journals because you're afraid of it looking messy or doing something wrong or whatever. And there's just stress around that. And I mean, I know how that is. I used to, I don't know if you remember, but remember when I wrote the article when I moved to the traveler's notebooks, I used to spend weeks upon weeks of organizing and reorganizing and sorting, trying to get the exact perfect system, because my OCD, like I have actual OCD, not how people like to use OCD. And I used to let I mean, I would do things that would allow my OCD to just run rampant. And so by reminding myself constantly, and then trauma, I mean, kind of made it worse, but by reminding myself constantly to not let perfection get in the way of progress, then I just do that. Yeah. So Dexter does remember that. So, I mean, I just do it. And if it doesn't work, I mean, the great thing about washi tape, as opposed to some of the stickers, I mean, I have washi stickers as well, but the washi tape, I mean, you can take it off and you can put it on again. You can move it. It's very forgiving. The page, when you do it, it kind of curls. At least it's not like my sticky notes that caused when I was sticking them directly to the page instead of on vellum, caused them to pucker. And I don't like that puckering. But when we do, I mean, the washi is more forgiving. And it's just a nice way for me to block off that Sunday and remind myself that is a day that is for my partner and I. And except for extreme circumstances, like when I was at Light Matters, nothing happens that day except for personal time. Yeah, I need to put in my shows in here that we're going to watch. I have to figure out where we're going to move Survivor to, and I think we have to move it to Friday, but I don't know if we have time, but that's where this comes in. Oh, we can watch Survivor on Friday now. So on Tuesday or Wednesdays, Haha Tuesday, and it's called Haha Tuesday because on Tuesday on CBS is when they air all their comedy shows. And then it's available to stream. Not CBS. Did I say CBS? I meant CBC. CBC is Haha Tuesday. And then they're available to stream on Wednesday. So we watch Haha Tuesday. Nate and Jer and War of the Worlds. We're behind on War of the Worlds, so we're going to have to watch that this day. I don't know if anyone else is watching the latest version of War of the Worlds, but it is weird. It's when it goes from season 1 to season 2, they like skip months and months and months. And they don't explain. It's like we're supposed to just know what happened in that intervening time. Or maybe we fell asleep during an episode in season 1 and maybe they did explain it and we don't remember. I don't know. But we're feeling a little bit lost in watching season 2. So What else? So we'll watch Star Trek is this day. Then on Friday, we will watch Survivor on Stack TV. And then Nate and Jeremiah on Discovery Plus. And then, here's the thing about American television that is really bizarre to me. So in the UK, it's a BBC show, Ghosts, and it's a comedy, and it is hilarious. And in the UK, their series are really, really shortened for people who are not aware. And then this year in America, there's now an American version of Ghosts. And America does this a lot with UK comedies. They did it with The Office and a few others that are eluding me at the moment. But they draw out the storyline and make it longer. So we're watching both the BBC Ghosts, which we find funnier, or at least I do, because the humor is more akin to Canadian humor than American humor is. But it's really funny to see there's a new season of Ghosts UK happening right now as the season 1 of American Ghosts is happening, and we're watching them side by side. Some storylines are kind of getting mixed up because for a lot of the storylines are the same, but there's a few areas in which they diverge from each other. And so, yeah, that's a thing. So that's Friday, Ghosts, which is both on Stack TV for us in Canada for those who stream. And then the BBC version is on CBC in Canada, because that is the CBC is the BBC but the Canadian version. And then the rest of their stuff my shows that I'm going to put in later. But that is, I think, my week plans. I mean, I'm going to check my phone calendar one more time to make sure. I still have to figure out the washi, but I don't need to bore you with that. I didn't want to put cameras up there. That's what I wanted to do. Did you all have these when you were a kid? I mean, it's not going to focus down here because there's something about the YouTube and streaming from my actual, I'm using my Canon mirrorless camera with a 50 millimeter prime lens on it. And for some reason, it doesn't want to change the focus as I move closer, like it does when I'm using this camera on Teams or some other way as a web camera. There's a few other things that aren't working on using the YouTube streaming that I have to sort out. But do you remember those cameras when you were a kid? Or am I just old? Because I know I'm older than both Dax and Livwani. And I don't even know, because Livwani is originally from South Africa, and I don't know how prevalent they were around the world. But you put in like a disc and you clicked them, and it showed different images. So yeah, Dexter remembers that. Yes, but I don't know if they have them outside of North America or if it was just a North America toy. And that's what this camera right here reminds me of, is those I don't even know what they were called. I don't know. I want to call it like a slideshow camera. But I think, it doesn't matter if it even goes up above the priority. I think I'm going to use that for that day because it amuses me. And then there's an old Polaroid camera. I'm not sure I want to use that one. That's too big. That is too much red beside each other. This camera looks Let's go with that one for Wednesday. Yes, the little pictures on the disc. Yeah, with the Viewmaster. Yes, that's what it is. Viewmaster. That is the name of it. Or yeah, the Viewmaster. Or something along those lines. If only, I mean, I wish I could do that. I thought about, wouldn't it be neat for one of my exhibits to make it really super interactive if I could give everybody their own personal slideshow that they could put up and watch, just like, yeah, do a slideshow with the images. What else do I have next week? I think that's me planned for the most part. I love this. This is the moon phases by weeks. It shows you, I have to stop doing that. I have to figure that out as well. I'm thinking of, they have them digital now. Oh, that's cool. I have to look into that and see if I can change it for my own purposes. But I think for next week, because I have a couple of people who are deaf who want to join us for this live stream. I think for next week, I'm going to play this week with the OBS software to see if I can get captions going, because you can stream Teams to Facebook with it, and to get my camera working properly. Like, sorry for if I'm making you nauseous or whatever, but that's not, the focus isn't changing. So this week I'm going to add research. I think it's called OBS. If not, I know what that means anyways for different streaming software. So that's my week plan for now. I mean, it will fill up, but that's the broad strokes of things. These are the things that I must do. And then everything else is what I am able to do based on my spoons. Any questions? Did you learn anything new? Do you want to hear about something that I might be doing that's a little bit ridiculous? That when I was telling my partner about it last night, he just looked at me, shook their head, and like, and just like, of course you need to buy another planner. So as I was setting up this planner, I thought I would have enough pages at the beginning to set up everything that I have to track, like a social media calendar, and write out specifically what posts I want to post on what day, because that's the thing that's happening digitally right now. And it's really disorganized because I like shoot things and it's like, what does that need to go to? And it's like, and it's not happening. My social media is taking a dive because, again, it's having to figure out how I'm matching my digital with my paper and pen planner. I have task lists that I have to do for my exhibit. I have task lists that I have to do for my cookbook. I have all these big projects, and I was hoping that I would be able to fit everything into the Jibun Techo weeks and then the dailies come 2022, which this is acting as right now. And the dailies is, it just has the months. It has some Gantt charts here, so you can still do some tracking. And then it's just 1 page per day, which is basically to-do lists and your scheduled appointments, right? And then any type of journal, like notes keeping, whatever. And then at the beginning, it has these trackers. And in the Hobonichi Techo, these columns are twice as big than they are, because they use 2 pages instead of 1 page for 12 months. They have 6 months per page in the Hobonichi. And a lot of people use them as social media calendars. So they write down which posts they're going to be posting on what day. And so they can look at it at a glance and be like, okay, on this day, I need to have all these things ready and shot and edited and whatever. And that's how I used to do things, and it worked, and social media was getting done. And then I moved to doing this digitally, and it turned into a mess. There was just too many places to look to find the information I needed. But this is not big enough in these. I mean, the columns are like not even 2 fingers wide. They're very narrow. And so I had a note in the very beginning here, like the social, like I see social media calendar ? And I'm like, no, it's not going to work. I mean, it could work for marking off what days I posted on. And because I have like my social media ideas color coded, I could be like, well, I track what days I post social media and have it color coded in one big calendar. And like, no, that's still not enough space. And for days that I post to multiple social media calendars, that's just not going to work. But what I've decided I'm going to do, and I still have to order it, and I'll do a setup video because I do have a lot of projects happening right now that need big paper tracking. I'll still use digital for team members. And so I can still tie it into Outlook and my booking calendar and all that other stuff, but I need it to live physically. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this at a glance. I'm going to pull all of my deadlines that are currently in Microsoft Planner and put hard deadlines for projects in here. So it might be January 5th is when I have to go to the art gallery and set up my exhibit for 2022. But if we say where we're doing it for my disability, food, and culture an exhibit, I would have to do my shoot schedule, all that other stuff in here, overview before I move it into the months, and then do the weeks and do the planning. Same with cookbook deadlines. If I get a deal, I need these chapters to the publisher on these days. And so that's what I can use this for. This can be like my art gallery deadlines once 22 rolls around, and these can be my cookbook deadlines. So that's fine. I can still use my Jibuns for that. But then I was thinking about the reason why I didn't go with the Hobonichi was because it was missing all these pages at the beginning where I can track specific things. Like this calendar lets me know what recurring things happen every week so that I can make sure that I plan them every single week and my weekly stuff doesn't get missed. This has all like my social media ideas. This has F-stoppers, post ideas, disabled kitchen and garden post ideas, business and office supplies that I need, TVs, things that we want to watch, movie list, the shoots that I have to do for disabled kitchen and garden and my cookbook. I'm going to run out of this page soon, and the shoots continue in the same thing in my daily list of recipes. And shoots continue in here for once I run out. This isn't client shoots. This is just for my personal projects that I have. My social media tracker. So these are what this is tracking my subscribers every month, or what it will track. My recipes that I need to develop. That keeps getting bent. Gantt chart. So these are like exhibits and or deadlines, shoot days and stuff for different projects that I have. And then at the end, as you already saw, this is what I can do based on my spoon levels every single day. Hobonichi didn't have all those extra pages. Also, a thing that Hobonichi didn't have, Hobonichi doesn't have these pages and doesn't have the Gantt charts. Two things that I absolutely need that I rely on, that I use in a planner. And then and they also don't have the task lists on their weeklies. and they don't have this area at the bottom for like doing for summarizing your day or whatever. And these are all things, as you can see, I need everything that is in here in the Jibun Techo. 1 second, my battery's about to die on my Surface. You're gonna walk with me while I quickly fix my plug here. So for the reasons I just illustrated is why I went with the Jibun Techo. Even though with the Hobonichi, or also their months don't have this stuff here. Their months take up the full page, and it doesn't have, like, these are things that I have to get done in November. I have it in my monthly spread. So I have to set up my booking calendar to start doing one-on-one education again next year. And I have to prioritize shooting my exhibit in November. The Hobonichi didn't have that. But what the Hobonichi has that's better than this is that because it doesn't have these sections here, the columns are bigger. And the month spreads, there's more in the month. And so I've decided I'm going to get a Hobonichi. I haven't decided what yet. And I'm going to use the Hobonichi every week. Instead of it being tracking my week, it's going to be a bucket from Planner, which works sort of like Trello, where I can do like the recipes I still have to develop. And I can dump everything that is currently in Planner and put it in paper form, and then use the daily pages for longer lists, like shopping lists, organizing stuff specifically just for those projects, so that I can track what's getting done and still have room in here to do everything else for my business and personal life. Because I found that this isn't holding everything. So I'm going to be getting another journal, or a planner, even though my whole goal was to streamline. But I have found 2 weeks into this that I do not have everything I need to do both my business and my cookbook. Like, there's still stuff I have to put in here from Planner that I just have no way of putting in here. So another journal it is that that can stay, that like this one can come with me to appointments and I can look at it, where my other one is not an everyday carry. It's pull it out when I'm working on those specific projects, and everything I need is in those journals. So that's that. I just have to pull the trigger and get those, but at least I get the Animal Crossing cover now that I've been dying to have. So that's my week plan. Any questions? Anything you can take away from it before we end the stream and say good night, good afternoon, good morning, good day, depending on where you are in this lovely planet? I'm going to give people in chat a second to respond. Everyone is good. I'm good. So until next Saturday, we're going to do this again. Same bat time, same bat channel. I hope you at least found it somewhat informative, able to maybe just like get over some of your own hurdles by listening to how I got over those hurdles. I don't know, but I hope to see you all next week. And if people are watching this outside of the live stream, thanks for watching on playback. I hope that you liked this video if you liked it, if you found anything beneficial, and subscribe to my channel. Until next week, bye. Thank you.